Hello and welcome to this week's YouTube video for week 4's lab. So after completing the lab, you should be able to develop and implement composite objects from many classes that you write and implement and use enumerated types in Java. I know you covered that last week, and this week you're going to write some of your own enumerated types, which will also help you for the assignment. And then in this lab, you're going to describe your classes and relationships between classes using UML. So let's get started. Of course, you know where the YouTube videos are by now. And we're going to start on exercise 1. So we're going to create a rugby score class which keeps track of rugby teams' points in a game and has object attributes for the name of the team and their current points. So let's go ahead and start that. We're going to create a new Java project, call it Lab 4, and then finish. And then we can just create a new class called Rugby Score, like that. And then, as you know already, you can create some private object attributes, such as the name, private int, let's say, points, and that's all there is to it. And so we have these object attributes, and then we write a constructor which has input for the name of the team. So let's do that. Public rugby score, and then input the name of the team, like that, and this dot name is equal to name. And really it's that simple. I think also we have to create a toString method which returns a string representation of the rugby score object. So when you're writing toString methods, you always have to think about, first of all, the method signature is always the same. It's public string toString. And of course, following the three-step rule for creating methods, you then return the right type, like that. So we want to put something interesting in this string, and what we will do is write this name and number of points and return this string. And in fact, we don't really need this instance variable, this local variable. We can just simply write something like that. So this will output the name of the rugby team and the current number of points. So let's try that out. We can create a class. I think we have rugby score test down here, so let's call it that, rugby score test, and create a main method. So it looks like this. Create a rugby score object. Call it a team. And then we just simply output it. So if we run that, we should get something similar to what we would expect, the name of the team and the number of points that it currently has. Of course, it has no points right now because we initialize it to 0. Although in our constructor, we should explicitly say this, points is equal to 0. Even though Java does this automatically, it is always good in your code to explicitly set this default value, so it makes the code clearer. Slightly longer, but it makes the code clearer, so you should always do that. So that's really the first exercise. I'll do the second exercise as well because it's quite interesting. So in rugby, points can be scored in 4 ways. For this exercise, create the score action enumerated type in Eclipse with the following enumerated literals. So each literal is associated with an integer value which keeps track of the number of points and each action is worth. So the literals that we have to define are try, conversion kick, penalty kick, and drop goal. And we have to associate each of these with a value. So here is 5, 2, 3, and 3. So it's really easy to do this in Eclipse. We can go, and instead of going to class, what we can do is go to enum, and that sets it up. So I think it's called, we're going to call it score action. So that's our enumerated type name. And as you see, it creates an enum rather than a class. And we can just go ahead and type in the literals. So the literals are try, all uppercase, conversion, kick, penalty kick, and drop goal. Like that. So those are our actions, the ways that we can score in a rugby game. Now we want to associate a value with each one of those. So the way that we do that is we create private int points. So that creates an instance variable. And then we create a constructor, private score action, and we input points. This dot points is equal to points. Now a couple of things to notice here. First of all, our constructor is private, and the reason for that is because in an enumerated type, we actually instantiate or declare all of the instances of this object, of this class score action. So these are all the objects of type score action. Now these all use this constructor here. So what we need to do now is associate with each one of these instances the number of points so that we can then set it. So let's try that now. So try is 5, conversion kick is 2, penalty kick is 3, and drop goal is 3. So what we do is set them like this: 5, 2, 3, and 3. Okay, so let's go back to our tester and let's just try out what this actually does. So we could just do a system.out.println score action dot try. So let's find out what this does. We want to just print this out. If we just print it out, you get the string try back. That's the automatic print two-string method in score action. But we can actually see how this is constructed by going into debug mode and then pressing F5, or this step into here. Oops. This is actually stepping through print line, which is not so useful. Let's go back and set another breakpoint here. So you'll notice whenever we're creating the class, the instance object try, what happens is score action goes and instantiates it as follows. The input is 5, as you can see. It's actually executing this, and this is try. So the points are constructed as follows by the constructor. So you'll notice that this will be set to 5, and then the instance is returned.